ever wished that you had more time to do something? I would guess that almost everyone would say, I wish I had more time in my day. More time to rest, more time to read, more time to spend with my kids, with my family, more time to fish, more time to write, more time to finish projects. I wish I had more time to do something that is important to me. But if you're like most people, you probably end up saying, but I've got to do the yard now, I've got dishes to do, chores to complete, work project, bills to pay, kids to raise. I wish I had more time to do something, but I just don't have enough time. I've noticed something, and that is whenever I ask people, how are you? One of the most common answers is, I'm busy. Life is just so busy right now. I don't think I've ever asked anybody how they were doing and they said, you know, I'm so relaxed. I'm just chilling. Life's easy. I have quality time with my kids. I really don't have much going on. In fact, I don't know what to do with all my time. I'm convinced that if Satan can't make you bad, he'll just make you busy. He'll make you busy doing things that may not really even matter. The truth of the matter, though, is that we do have time for what we choose to have time for. We all have time for what we choose to do. Anytime I say, I wish I had time for something else, the problem is I'm actually choosing what I am doing over something else. When you step back and evaluate where it is that you're spending time, you can then identify what exactly are the priorities in your life. I believe that God would have us choose the important over the urgent. Now I can imagine what you might think. Urgent things are important. But the truth of the matter is there is a distinction, and urgent things are not always the most important. If you're a business owner and you have an upset, angry customer, dealing with that customer in that moment is urgent. But creating systems to keep customers from getting upset is important. Two different things. One is urgent, the other is important. If your car engine needs repairing because you never changed the oil, getting your car engine up and running is urgent. But being diligent about keeping the oil change is important. If you get sick because you've been working relentlessly and not getting the rest that you need, you're overwhelmed, you're doing too much, going to the doctor to get treatment and recover is urgent. But taking better care of your body is more important. Seth Godin said it this way, if you choose what is important, you won't deal with as many things that are urgent. But he also said the opposite is never true. If you're only choosing that which is urgent, then you're not going to be faced with more things that are important. Luke tells a story in chapter 10 of the Gospel according to Luke about evaluating and prioritizing what is urgent and what is important. In Luke chapter 10 verse 38, Luke said that as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister named Mary, and Mary chooses what's most important. Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Mary chose what was important, while Martha did what many of us would do. She surrendered to the urgent. It's hard to blame Martha because Jesus is in the house. If you found out someone that you really respect was coming over, you'd probably respond exactly how Martha responded and go into a frenzy cleaning of your house because it's urgent. Someone is coming over. Throw stuff under the bed, in the closet, light the expensive candle, the one that we have saved for company. Everything has got to be just right. It's urgent. So Martha does what many of us would, and she misses what's important. In fact, verse 40 says that Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. And Martha said, Lord, don't you care? My sister has left me to do all the work by myself. Tell her to help me out. Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. I wonder how many of us, including me, have been faithfully pursuing the urgent and neglecting that which is most important. What is the most important thing that you have been distracted from pursuing? Perhaps you've been distracted from spending time with Jesus. You haven't put him first. You haven't had intimate time in his word. You haven't aligned your heart with him. Some today might say, I'm so busy doing things for my children. I actually haven't enjoyed my kids. I haven't made a real investment in them. Perhaps your whole life revolves around your kids' urgent schedule and you've neglected your marriage. Jesus responds to Martha in verse 41 and says this, "You're worried and upset about so many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one." Then Jesus brings it home when he says, "Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." What did Mary do? She chose what was better. She evaluated her priorities and made a choice to move her life in the direction of important over urgent. Mary was selective in what she said yes to, and because of that, Jesus says she has chosen what is better and it will not be taken away from her. Mary chose to do first what matters most. Mary wasn't about to wait until she had more time. Mary didn't say, whenever things slow down, then I will. No, Mary said, spending time at the feet of Jesus, at the feet of the Master, is the most important thing I can do, and I refuse to sacrifice what's important to me on the altar of the urgent. And Jesus said, Mary has chosen what is better, time at the feet of the Master, and it will not be taken away from her.